Did you think we'd make it this far?
What a question. Um, I I did, but I have to tell you, I was worried. I was worried the commitment. I was like, there's going to be some really rough things to see in this series, and I have now committed to this. So I was more worried that like I would fall off and have to like break up with you on this podcast and be like, Eric, this has been great. I just can't do this. But once we honestly, the order that we watched them in and the way that you've guided me through, I was like, okay, I'll continue through the rest. I've
Well,
made it through. I have to have made it through the worst of the
I
worst.
like to think that we got over, like, if there was ever going to be a hump in doing this show, I think we got over it at this point. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's certainly going to be areas that might prove to be either contentious or
Hmm.
rough patches. But I do think, as far as doing a series where the first season was going to be triple the length of the other two seasons as far
Yeah.
as the number of overall movies go, yeah, I think we got over whatever the worst of it might have been as far as a consistent
Honestly, that
battle.
like three film stretch with like Ibira, Son of Godzilla, and All Monsters Attack that is the if you can make it through that, you can make it through anything, really.
And I do take pride in the way I've ordered this and how things
Yes.
work and how things worked out as far as having public screenings goes. That kind of broke up some of the weeks as well. I thought,
Yeah, it helped it
I
helped
think we
seeing
got
them on the big
lucky in
screen.
some. Yeah, no, I think we got lucky in how we were able to see some of those
Yeah,
movies.
seeing like Mecha on the big screen was great. Seeing a lot of these on the big screen was great. So yeah, it was great.
Very good. I am Aaron Neuwirth, editor in chief at League of Entertainment, and I am a huge Godzilla fan.
My name is Terence Johnson. I am the owner of LeNoirTour.net, and I have seen all of the Showa era Godzilla movies.
And this is the
The
award-winning
award-winning Two
Two
Black
Black
Guys
Guys Talk
Talk Godzilla.
Godzilla. Man, the places we've gone, the things we've seen.
The people we've met, yes.
So here we are. We've reached the end of the Showa era,
Hmm.
and now we've decided that we need to do a wrap up to consider all of our thoughts for what we've seen in this first season of the podcast.
Yeah.
And we have a way of going about this, and that's going to include some of you, the listeners' feedback as well, some questions you've asked us, and some of the things you might have said. So that's exciting.
Exciting, yes.
But in doing this, I guess what we should start off with is just some general thoughts about this whole Showa era season, period of time concerning all the Godzilla, all the films that we watched. So obviously, Terrence, you came in here knowing very little about what you're going
Yeah.
to see, and now you've seen 15 examples
Yeah.
plus more.
Plus more, 21 movies in total. Yeah.
So any general takeaways?
I'm I still remain fascinated by like how we got from 1954's Godzilla to like the franchise it became and seeing that take flight essentially in the Showa era is really fascinating. I think this is like quintessential like Japanese cinema in the way that I mean I would probably say that about King Kong for America, sort of quintessential American cinema because it's the what the monster means and represents. And I found like we mentioned in the question, I was not sure about what initially I had agreed to undertake, and I can happily say that I have enjoyed the Showa era. Um, there are some good ones, there are some bad ones, but I think I was really just fascinated by like I know much later Godzilla movies, and I know Godzilla the icon, and I had seen the 54 version at some point, and now it was like, well, let's go back and look at how it got built up and the twists and turns and the monsters and the this and the that, and being able to sort of tie that back to movies I had seen, and oh, this is where this thing came from, you know, like in one movie in particular with the 2018 King of the Monsters. Like there's a specific thing in that movie that
Hmm.
is from another one of these Godzilla movies, and I was like, oh, that was great to see, where it sort of originated from. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that it sparked a lot of good conversations for us, just in terms of bringing, sort of our modern sensibilities back into the series. So yeah, I enjoyed it. What about you?
I'd absolutely think it sparked a lot of great conversation between us. I mean, after all, we did win an award for our silly conversations. So,
We did. We
but
did
no,
at the
I
inaugural
mean,
Astro Awards.
yeah,
Yes, we did.
but nonsensical bragging aside, no, I am appreciative of having meaningful conversations about something that, yes, I am very passionate about, and being able to look at it under not necessarily a new lens, but certainly one that is more exploratory than I've ever
Yeah.
really considered when it comes to some of these other ones. I've had certain kind of conversations about, but doing all of these, I think it's incredibly worthwhile. And yeah, just in general, like I I'm a big fan of this era. I really do like the High Sierra quite a bit, and so it's to knowing that like that's coming and watching all of these in a row.
Hmm.
It's it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see kind of how my mind shapes around doing this all kind of in one big swoop. But watching the Showa Era again and watching it in full and so consistently, there's a real joy in getting the kind of the novelty aspect of seeing this thing and knowing it was like this yearly tradition, not unlike I don't know, Marvel movies
Yeah.
or Bond movies, where it's like, okay, here's our yearly Godzilla film. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's see what wacky thing they came up this time. Um, and kind of and going at it from that angle as well as looking at it from now, especially now that I'm like older and have a different sort of appreciation for filmmaking, compared to when I was like younger watching some of these movies, seeing differences between what Ishiro Honda is doing versus Jun Fukuda, seeing differences in the tone and the score, uh, the way these things are being made, we're acknowledging the fact that the budgets are changing and what have you, just like
Hmm.
having all of those different kinds of contexts in mind and still finding ways to separate these films, some of which can kind of run together, but still having an appreciation for them for different reasons. That's a lot of fun, honestly. And
Yeah.
beyond just like the cinephile educational aspect of it, there's just it's a lot of fun doing it, which is always why that's why I do any podcast because it's fun to do. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's
because
not fun,
it's time intensive,
it
yes.
is. If it's not fun, it's like what are we doing here? So like it is it's been a lot of joy just like going through all these, but certainly there's a lot of takeaway that I have that I haven't done in this sort of way before. So with the Showa era specifically, yeah, it's a long set of films and I was
Yes.
happy to take new things out of it based on the purpose of this podcast. So.
Yeah, I'd wonder, did your ranking, I know you've seen all of them, so you like have an idea of where things are ranked. Did your rankings change at all?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
my I haven't matched like I have a private letterbox list going right now that's ranking everything that we watch for this series.
Yeah,
And I do have my public Godzilla lists already out there. I haven't like matched them against each other in a while,
interesting.
but I'm aware that some of these have moved around.
Yeah,
Um,
I did make a letterbox list for myself. I
yeah,
was like, I'm gonna have to keep track of these. We're watching a lot of them.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, with that in mind, that is something we're going to do. We're going to rank all of the movies in the Showa era. That was a big part of the plan for our wrap up
Hmm.
episode here. How do you want to do this? Do you want to start at the naturally at the bottom of the list and go towards the
Bottom
top?
of the list and go to the top.
Okay. All right. I guess you'll just read yours and I'll just read mine then.
Yep. I'm
That's
gonna
the efficient way.
go. So this is of all the movies that we've
All the movies.
watched.
So that's just 21 movies total.
21 movies total.
Yeah. Does that include that
This
includes
is
the side movies as well as the from the
starting
television?
from the people who have listened to the show will absolutely know what the worst of the worst
I
is.
feel like we're gonna have the same number one and number 21.
It's Varan.
Moran is number 21. All
It's
right.
Varan the Unbelievable. I'm sorry to the Varanites yet again. Varan the Unbelievable was the worst thing that
We're
we
gonna
saw.
hear from a Veronite later on, so keep going.
Oh, I'm excited now. All right, now, so then going in increasing levels of quality. All Monsters Attack, Rodan, Son of Godzilla, Ibira, Horror of the Deep, War of the Gargantuas,
Hmm.
King Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla, comma, King of Monsters. I was like, Frankenstein conquers the world is
You forgot that we had a Frankenstein.
no, I was just looking at the title. I was like, isn't it something Frankenstein versus Baragon, I believe is the name of that movie.
That's
Um,
Frankenstein conquers the world.
oh, it is?
Yeah, he just fights Baragon.
Oh, okay.
There's an alternate title that I believe is
Yeah.
also Frankenstein, but
Um,
it's Frankenstein conquers the world.
this and for people who have listened to us on other shows, whenever somebody mentions an alternate title, I don't know what it is. So you have to say whatever the major title is.
It's why I'm here.
Yes. Godzilla versus Gigon, for all the people in the TikTok comments that have been dragging me for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm calling him Gigan. Um, Destroy All Monsters, Mothra versus Godzilla.
Say the numbers.
Oh, now we're in the top 10. So number 10, Mothra versus Godzilla. Number 9, Godzilla versus Megalon. Number 8, Godzilla raids again. Number 7, Terror of Mechagodzilla. Number 6, Ghidorah three-headed monster, or Ghidra three-headed monster is what it looks like it's spelled as. Number 5, Mothra. Number 4, Godzilla versus Hedorah. Number 3, Invasion of Astro Monster. Number 2, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And number 1, with a bullet, 1954's Godzilla.
There's there's some wild rankings.
Well,
Some
let
top
me put it
tens, some top tens here. Godzilla raids
let me
again
put
in
it
the
to you
top
like
10.
this. I think where I think quality starts is Frankenstein versus Baragon and up. But then real quality really starts with Raids again.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like under those, you're not as big on.
Yeah, like Godzilla, comma, King of the Monsters. I was like, oh, that was a nice experiment. But yeah, those are my rankings.
We should probably put these in the show notes so people can actually see these.
Absolutely. And the link to the list. I'll drop the letterbox list.
Mine's going to remain private until we finish this podcast.
Oh,
So,
fun. Okay. Well,
um, all right. My rankings for these,
worst of the worst.
we have the same back to
Varan.
back at that bottom here. 21 is Varan, the unbelievable.
Yes.
Number 20 is All Monsters Attack.
Okay.
Number 19 is Godzilla, comma, King of the Monsters. Number 18 is Ibira, Horror of the Deep. Number 17 is Rodan. Number 16 is Son of Godzilla. Number 15 is Godzilla Raids Again. Number 14 is Frankenstein Conquers the World. Number 13 is Godzilla vs. Gigan. Number 12 is Godzilla vs. Megalon. Number 11 is King Kong versus Godzilla. Now we get to that top 10. We have Mothra. Number 9 is Mothra versus Godzilla. Number 8 is Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Number 7, Terror of Mecha Godzilla. We have to say number 7. Number 6,
Uh-huh.
Godzilla versus Hedorah. Number
Ooh.
5,
Okay.
our biggest discrepancy, the biggest discrepancy between the two of us, the
War
War
of the
of
Gargantuas.
Gargantuas.
Yeah, I figured.
Number 4, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Number 3, Destroy All Monsters. Number 2, Invasion of Astro Monster. And number 1, of course, Gojira, 1954. So there we are. Yeah, I mean, like, as far as where quality starts, I don't like hate Son of Godzilla. Like I do like think there's redeeming elements of it. Like
It's bad.
that's the bottom of the quality list, I would say. Raids Again I liked more this time. That's 15. So like yeah, it's like around that area where like it starts as far as like I like all of these for the most part. The biggest jump I don't know about biggest jump, but like Invasion of Destroy All Monsters Tech has usually been my number 2, but Invasion of Astro Monsters just worked for me a lot more this time around.
Ooh, what got it to work? Let's explore that because that's my number 3.
I think watching it and watching them so close together, you just see that Destroy All Monsters is like remaking Invasion of Astro Monster, but I like I like the dynamic between the guys so much in Invasion of Astro Monster, um, that it's hard to like the crew in Destroy All Monsters is that ensemble is less like memorable than just having like these two astronauts that are dealing with a lot of this stuff, like in
Yeah.
Invasion of Astro Monsters. So I think there's just something about that that really works for me. And like, because they're both like nonsense alien plots, but the idea that like with one of the guys falls in love with an alien and like all this
Yes.
stuff, like that, and all it just like settled with me quite well. And yeah, I mean, it's a it's splitting hairs, honestly. Like the Destroy All Monsters and Invasion of Astro Monster, which is like top tier Godzilla films for me.
Yeah.
Most
I
most things involving Ghidorah are going to be pretty top tier for me. But
Invasion, the plot of Invasion is just so out of this world, not to, no pun intended, just like bonkers.
mhm.
And I think that's what, if I look at my top five, three of them, the plots are like wacky beyond belief, and wacky in a way that I'm intrigued to look back at the legendary movies in 2065 when we finally get there
I think you like them more.
to really, and I purposefully, to let people in on how I've been preparing for this podcast, purposefully have not rewatched anything other than minus one. And that's just because you invited me to the screen.
It was our post Comic Con celebration watch.
Yeah, you said, hey, I have an extra ticket to minus one, and I said I really should be busy on Sunday, but I absolutely will be going to see that. So I haven't seen them again. And I think what impressed me the most about, so I'm talking about Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, Invasion of Astro Monster, and Hedorah, like they're committed, they're committed in a way that even if budget might have been cut, even if the suit might not have worked all the time, like all of these like limitations, like everything about them is committed. Everybody in the movie knows the type of movie that they're making. The director does. Um, the music is there. Like all of the elements are present in those. Like obviously all the elements are present in
It's a peak.
Gojira because it is
It's
the
a
OG.
peak. It's a peak period for all with Fedora being the only like. Let's try something different.
Yeah.
The other ones though, Ghidorah, Destroy All Monster, at least Invasion of Astro, those are all coming at a time when it's like we got this down. Let's see what we can do with this and really kind of go for
Yeah.
it. And Destroy All Monsters had the luxury of being like, well, let's just do one big send off, even though it didn't end up being a big send off at
Yes.
all. Another
Yeah.
jump for me, Mothra. I think I really like Mothra
Mm.
more this time around. Um, both Mothra and Mothra versus Godzilla. That just worked for me a lot better.
Yeah. I think Mothra has a really tight human plot. I mean, the what I have learned, one of the main things I've learned is that the human plots are what are going to make or break these movies and not Godzilla in a way that I didn't think that that would happen.
Fair.
Um, and so, Mothra is a story about the press and a conniving businessman who steals two natives to put in his show, and a monster is like, well, we gonna see about that, you know? And it's geopolitical, and it's really like leaning into both the silliness and the really serious stuff, but taking everything as intended, you know. I could see that's interesting that. And then Mothra vs. Godzilla, I was just shook at how strong Mothra was in that movie, even though she was dying.
Yeah, I mean, you get a peak example of what Mothra's capabilities are as far as fighting, being a one-on-one against Godzilla, given that for the
Hmm.
most part they're either allies to some degree or there's a team-up factor going on. Seeing it just a plain versus between the two of them, it worked for me a lot more than I recalled it working for me in the past. Um, Megalon kind of climbed up a little bit for me as well, although
Mm,
it's still like I don't know. Like I like it more here. Like it's just that the human plot really works for me in that movie a lot.
yeah.
Like it's just so silly, um, and gay, as we've established, very very gay.
Yes.
But, in the most fun of ways. Um,
In a way that I'm like, Why haven't they tried that again?
Uh, Time will tell.
Yeah, yeah, why haven't they tried that again?
Uh, who knows what Supernova is going to have happen? There's a lot of Kongs. Um, but yeah, and Jet Jaguar and all this. It
Yeah.
just it really like the silliness really shined through in a way that I appreciated a lot more this time around. Even Godzilla Raids Again, like you were really big on Raids Again, and I've always been, and it's still pretty low on my list, but like, you know what? There is like a good amount of like fun going on here as far
Yeah.
as if we're going to take it in this direction, and this is our first time out doing it, it accomplishes enough to make it work.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting to see you see Godzilla, super serious, nuclear age,
Hmm.
aftermath of atomic bombs being dropped on a country, a monster born out of the horror of all of that. And then they're like, but what if we did like some, and I don't know if they did this, but like in my mind, it's like, what if we kind of made like an American movie? That's not what I think they're doing, but that just like the vibes, right? All of the shooting, the military, like it felt to me, it rang so much like American action movies that were made at the time. So it's like a really interesting sort of cultural bit of symbiosis there. And it's like, oh, well, they kind of, and Anguirus, you
Yeah,
know,
your boy
my
Anguirus.
boy Anguirus I was introduced to Anguirus in that movie. So yeah, they didn't have to knock down the castle, but just like Godzilla and King Kong didn't have to knock down that building either.
We basically share the same top bottom five, if I'm not mistaken, with one exception, of course, with War of the Gargantuas, which I just
Well, War of
cannot.
the Gargantuas is not in the bottom five.
That's what I thought. I thought it might not be in there, but for the
Now, is
rest
it
of
in the
it,
bottom six? Yes, but it's not in the bottom five.
yeah, okay. I can't abide this, but it is what it is.
Yeah, the bad ones, I will say, this franchise, the bad ones, like many franchises, the bad ones are just like nearly unwatchable. But there's always going to be like one or two things in there that you're like, okay, maybe I could take that away. If you mentioned Marvel, like I think about Thor: The Dark World,
Shot the Marvel movie
and it's like,
three
what can you do with
locations.
that? What could you do with Thor: The Dark World? Nothing. There's nothing. Um,
What do you think you do with it? It's a good movie.
it's terrible.
Not
It's
terrible.
abysmal. um, it's truly
Not
dreadful.
abysmal. There's worse Marvel movies that came out this year.
Well, I didn't want to mention those just yet. You didn't let me get there, right? What are we gonna do with Brave New World?
Yeah.
There's like one or two things, right? Carl Lumley. But like with this, it's like Ibira Horror of the Deep. There was a good movie to be made out of that, and they just didn't do it. But like Son of Godzilla, Rodan, All Monsters Attack, and Varan all suffer. Rodan and Varan suffer from the like idea to branch out from this main thing,
Hmm.
but not being as effective
Yeah.
at it. And Varan like terribly so. And then All Monsters Attack and Son of Godzilla are like, the battle of the stock footage.
Well, Fall
And
Monsters Attack for sure. Son of Godzilla. What works in there is that it actually has like cool creatures. Like that's the
yeah,
whole deal.
that's what I
Like
was
it
gonna say.
actually
Like the
invents cool
creature
creatures in it.
design in that is like phenomenal, but it's like, but there is one creature that is awful.
Yeah, the son of Godzilla.
And he is the titular character of the story. So
Yes.
yeah, those ones, although Varan had the absolute funniest moment of any of the movies that we saw, which was when Varan jumps out of the water and starts flying. I think about it constantly and just scream laugh. It was so funny. Um, but yeah, like Abira might be my most disappointing.
Yeah, that's how I feel every time I watch it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, surely there's just something here, and I'm
It's
like,
like golly, there.
it's kind of a nothing.
Yeah, it's you're
Godzilla's
you have
basically
two
an afterthought.
aquatic monsters and they never fight in the never really fight in the water, and
Godzilla's an afterthought in the movie. The plot, the
yeah,
human plot is like whatever.
silly,
A beer
very,
doesn't,
very silly.
yeah, it just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
Um,
So
all right, I know we have other things to do, so we gotta
yes.
keep moving and probably go back to some of these. But the next thing we want to do is our favorite characters outside of Godzilla. It's not including Godzilla. Who are your favorite characters?
I mean, Anguirus is up there. Anguirus, in a shocking way, Anguirus might be my favorite monster of the series. I just I loved that he went from like adversary to like one of the few monsters in this series that is like on site with anybody. It don't matter the level of difficulty. It don't matter the weakness that he has. He's just fighting people. I really loved Anguirus. I mean, monster wise, I love Anguirus. I loved Mothra. Um, in particular, seeing Mothra going up against Godzilla, in these later films, the relationship is going to change, and so it was like interesting seeing that. And then Jet Jaguar is probably up there. What a cool invention. I really hope Jet Jaguar pops up in Supernova. I think I would freak out in the theater, which shows how far you've inceptioned me into this
The
situation.
world would like wars would end if Jet Jaguar popped up in Supernova.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that right now. There would be some level of peace in certain countries
Yeah,
because of Jet Jaguar's appearance in Supernova.
Jet Jaguar would be really cool. And then I just want to I have to give a shout out to all all of the humans in Godzilla, but also in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
Like Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, that sort of side plot of the spy, just the spy craft of
Spies, the
it.
Pseutopians,
Yes.
and all this.
And then of course in Godzilla, it's our main love triangle.
Yeah,
Just
sure
really
solid.
solid. So yeah, those are some of my favorite. I mean, there's other people here or there, but those are sort of the things that like reign really high for me.
I hear you. I have my like set three that I went for, which is of course Jet Jaguar, obviously one of them,
Yes.
which is Jet Jaguar. What was supposed to be said? Then punch, punch, punch. Mothra and the twins.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to have Mothra, but you gotta have the twins there
Hmm.
to like help her out and provide both backstory and theme music.
Yes.
It's one thing to have James Brown, but like he has a whole band. Like
Yes.
you gotta have everybody there. To complete the
Hmm.
set.
As per
And,
usual.
and of course the Gargantuas, Sanda and Gara. I mean, this two Gargantuas fighting it out, it's doing their thing. Um, the humanoidness of them just makes it such a that's a big part of why I love Gargantuas so much. Just like the fact that they're these
Hmm.
giant like human like kaiju, and so like the fights, there's a different kind of physicality that comes with them, and
Yeah.
it's basically emotionally motivated, but like just the fact that it's still a Toho kaiju movie. There's just something there that just really makes it appealing to me, watching these two,
Mm.
and seeing like where things go and how things play out there. Um, but they have a certain kind of personality that you can't necessarily get from a big rubber face. But because these are
Yeah.
more humanish, there's something else there. Um, yeah, favorite thing,
Yeah.
my favorite characters. There's plenty of others I support.
Hmm.
I enjoy my share of Anguirus as well. Um,
I think I've given you a new appreciation for Anguirus.
I've never disliked Anguirus. I'm more. It's more that I'm amused by how much you like
Yeah.
Anguirus.
I'm really shocked, to
uh,
be honest. I'm really shocked, but I appreciate somebody who's just gonna jump in. You know, the rest of these people was running scared of Ghidorah. He was up in there, he was in the mix.
my favorite characters do also include Nick Adams and the other astronaut in Invasion of Astro Monsters. They're just
Yes.
like they're bros for life, and they're just like seeing all this stuff. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No,
Um,
that was the straight. They were straight, and then in
yeah,
Godzilla vs Megalon, that was
they're like aggressively hetero
they
about
were friends in quotes. Yes.
it. Next up, we have favorite villains, of course.
Okay.
I limited mine to three as well,
So
but
did I.
Okay,
I did three.
what do you have for your favorite villains?
Ghidorah,
Uh-huh.
which I know that is the love of your life. You are a Ghidorah stan number one. Mecha Godzilla,
Mhm.
because Mecha was tearing, Godzilla up. And I'm gonna change. I had a third one here,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I don't consider this character a villain, so I'm gonna take them out.
Okay.
It was gonna be Mothra, but Mothra is not a villain.
Never really a villain.
Yeah, I think.
Like Godzilla's the antagonist in the Mothra versus
Yeah,
Godzilla
that's why I said.
movie.
That's why I said
Yes.
that. Like, the more that I thought about it, the more I was like, I'd maybe go Gagan. Gagan.
Yeah. You got
Just
you got him the hits.
he was tearing Godzilla up,
Mhm.
man, in a way that Ghidorah could only dream. In a way that Ghidorah could only dream about, he was tearing Godzilla up. So yeah, I think that those to me represent like the fiercest battles, and that's why I think they've sort of been my favorite villains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have two of the same. King Ghidorah obviously is one of my favorite people.
yes,
Just,
because you're evil, you're unrepentantly evil. That's why you like him.
No, there King Ghidorah is just such a immovable force of evil in the world of Godzilla, where
So you like being an immovable force of evil.
it takes. I'm allowed to admire a villain. Like doesn't mean I'm complicit. Like doesn't mean I agree with his
So you
choices.
you you destroyed Venus. That's what you're saying? You think
I
that was right?
For one thing, Venus is fucked anyway. It's not we're gonna go colonize Venus. It's too acidic and hot and close and
Yes.
small. There's way too many problems with Venus. Um, but no, King Ghidorah has always just been my dude when it comes to like what's a threat to Godzilla. Like I love Godzilla. What's a thing that actually challenges Godzilla? This
Yep.
three-headed flying dragon that shoots electricity seems to like cause a lot of problems. So much so that it takes the entire squad to destroy monsters to like finally beat them down for good. Like, it's not just a simple
In 1999, yes, you're correct.
in the future of 1999. So yeah, King Ghidorah. Um, yeah. Then we got Mechagodzilla. I I love the challenge it presents, and as well as the kind of like, wait, what? So
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla? That's a fun one, for sure, as far as a counter opponent, and one that clearly registered with audiences because you're going to see a lot of Mechagodzilla over the course of this series in all
Interesting.
kinds of iterations. Get ready for some you will not see coming as far as how this works.
I'm excited.
But yeah, Mechagodzilla is always fun, and the biggest leap from I think as far as my admiration is Titanosaurus. I'm putting that here in the
Ooh.
like Gigan was usually my go-to just because yes, Gigan like gets the blood out as far as the blades and the chest blade and all that stuff. So it's like it's a bloody fight between them. But Titanosaurus this time around, I really like what Titanosaurus is bringing. It's like you said it best. Like it's like the same strength as Peak Ghidorah or Mothra against Godzilla. It's
Yeah.
kicking him like out through the air.
Yes,
Like,
across the valley. Yes.
it's aquatic. It's got moves. It can move around. It's got this insane neck. It's got that sound.
Hmm.
It's got that noise it makes. We'll get back to that in the feedback question as well. It's just like 15 movies in, and we found another one that feels distinct in the world of Godzilla.
Yeah.
I was very impressed watching Titanosaurus this time around, enough to be like, yeah, this is one of the best villains in this series. This thing just knows how to deliver the bombs. So.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that it has like a backstory where it's like usually it's just a nice animal unless something gets in its way. Like it's not trying to
Yeah.
justify what it's doing. Like, he's pretty cool when they're not like blasting his sound waves at him and making his ears all hurt. Like it's like
Hmm.
all right, well, too bad. No love from either of us for Giant Condor. Apparently, I guess they didn't make the cut for favorite
No.
villains. Did you see
Absolutely not. I had forgotten about Giant Condor until you just mentioned it.
Did you see that for for Godzilla Day, the reveal they had for
They did a giant condor?
so we apparently like there was a big vote for like what should be represented for Godzilla Day. And like I guess it was opened up to America for the first time. And I don't want to say America necessarily trolled the voting system, but there was certainly a big outpouring for Giant Condor to be included as far as like a favorite thing in the world of Godzilla. So on the Godzilla store, you could buy they both had a Giant Condor toy as well as a shirt, and the shirt is the best. It says appeared briefly, died instantly, loved eternally. It's just this shot of Giant Condor encountering Godzilla. I'm so tempted to get this, and I haven't. but
That's funny.
it's really
That's
funny.
really funny.
Uh,
Yeah,
Giant,
I
what's that?
forgot all about.
Never forget Giant Condor.
Although that does tie in, funny enough, to like our next thing is top five fights, and
uh,
one of my fights is from that movie.
which is it's a Bira, right? The Bira is Giant Condor, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not from that, but it reminds me so much of. Oh, this shirt is funny.
It is a funny shirt. Like, it's pretty good.
It's from Monster Island, which is like Godzilla fighting the Kamakuras.
Okay, so yeah, let's get to it. Top five
Top
fights.
five fights: Godzilla fighting
Let's go back and forth on this one. We could do that.
Godzilla v the Kamakuras, the
Okay.
praying mantis,
Yeah, that's from
the
Son of
slamming him on
Godzilla.
the ground, the blasting one out of the air. I really enjoyed that.
That's a good fight. I do like that one quite a bit because there's a lot of like
Yeah, it's a
because
lot of
there's
fun.
multiple opponents. Godzilla gets to like have different kind of finishing moves on him.
Uh-huh.
Plus, anytime Godzilla gets to play tennis is always fun.
Yes.
So you got that. I didn't rank any of mine. I think just
Neither
kind
did
of
I. That was just the
so.
first one I wrote down.
So I'll just read them I'll just read one as I go. Mine is the basically the final war of the Gargantuas fight because it's the Gargantuas fight doing the thing that you want them to do, which is have a big all brawl in the middle of a city or landscape. I believe there's a lot of
Hmm.
where they're fighting at the end there. But yeah, I mean you get because of the fact they have arms and legs like humans do. You get just a big old wrestling match that's portrayed as if it's a kaiju battle, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it immensely. It does not get old for me. I hope someday it has a proper Blu-ray or 4K release to have me really seen all of its glory.
Yeah.
But for the time being, War Gargantua was still very fun.
I
Good fun.
put the battle on Planet X in Invasion of Astro Monster.
Okay, so and no, Rodan and Godzilla versus
Rodan and Godzilla
Ghidorah.
are airlifted through space
Uh-huh.
from
That's
their slumber,
yep.
dropped on a planet, and they have to fight Ghidorah right out of the gate.
They have to
It's
fight
really
Monster
fun.
Zero, who we learn is, of course, King
Yeah,
Ghidorah.
so that's a good one.
All right. I have Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra versus Ghidorah in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
That was going to be on my list. Yeah.
There you go, which is the final battle in that film after Mothra very effectively convinces Rodan and Godzilla to team up so they could take on the threat that is the Venusian signaled alien that is Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Yes.
Um,
I.
and There's a good fight. There's a lot of team ups that go on here.
Hmm.
A lot of like Rodan flying Mothra around, I believe, at one point. And
Yes. Finally, I love the teamwork.
there's spraying all kinds of moth fluids.
What I will say is that that is one of the things that is the most true to life because nothing will ruin your day like walking into a spider web. Absolutely, it just it's one of the top 10 worst things that you could happen just during your regular day. It just ruins everything, and you feel it forever. I put down here Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Okay.
Final battle, multiple stages of Hedorah, multiple things that we have to deal with. The humans, for once, are extremely useless. Right? They actually actively make Godzilla's job harder because they can't get it together. So, I had to give him props for that because that was a hard fought battle.
I mean, yes, I would say of the battles, like, I don't disagree. It's a great fight. I would say Godzilla doesn't exactly like take a lot of damage in that battle. It's
No.
more of it's like this motherfucker won't die.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's kind of more what it is. He just has to keep fighting him.
Yeah,
Let's see. I'm trying to avoid one because I know we both have it on our list. So I'll go with Godzilla and Anguirus versus Gigan and King Ghidorah in Gigan. Um, while there is stock footage of this fight, it is still a very bloody battle. It's
Yes.
it's a fun 2-on-2 team up, which we don't get a lot of. Although we get it again in with Jet Jaguar the next one, but still, we got two old school enemies, or at least two old school kaiju, and then the new addition of Gigan. Bloody fight. Godzilla gets wrecked up. It still manages to win. It's good stuff. There's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of fun to be had when you have all of these characters all in one area.
And the one that I believe we both have on is the final battle from Destroy All Monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to say I did thoroughly enjoy watching Ghidorah get stomped out.
hmm And Son of Godzilla being there and being like, I helped.
He was there.
He he shot a ring,
He was there.
got a ring off.
You
But
know,
no,
he
I
was
mean your boy Argyris got one on the head before being dragged in the air and dropped again. But
yeah, it
he
was
was proactive.
the son of Godzilla. Manila was very Tyrese Halliburton on the Olympic team. He had one of my favorite tweets of all time where he posted a photo of him with the gold medal. He was like when you did nothing on the group project but still got an A.
Uh,
Because he didn't really play during the Olympics, but he was a part of the gold medal. He's part of the team, and he won a gold medal. So, yeah,
but
but
yeah,
yeah, it was fun watching Ghidorah get stomped out.
the team effort there. Of course, Gorosaurus and Baragon around.
They were there too.
Kumonga and Mothra shooting webs and shit.
Yes,
That's
see, you see
fun.
what I mean? The spy just ruin your whole day.
But it's an epic fight. I
Yeah,
very much approve of that battle. The
yeah,
last one I had was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus together
uh-huh,
because that's another like I was Godzilla had a rough enough time with just one of these guys last time. He's got to fight both of them by
yeah,
himself, and he eventually does the job, but it wasn't easy.
yeah. And I think even though I think Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is the better movie, I do think the fight in Terror of Mechagodzilla is the better final battle.
Yeah, it's splitting hairs for me when it comes to those
Yeah,
two movies. Like they could easily, no, neither one of them is like massively outweighing the other. That Titanosaurus, like I guess I'm weighing Titanosaurus against King Caesar, and I like King Caesar. King Caesar's a cool guy. I'd invite him to a barbecue, but Titanosaurus, he just did
hmm
it for me as a villain. It's really worked for me.
yeah.
We played the King Caesar song at the barbecue though, for sure,
Caesar, Caesar,
and we bring out the salad.
Caesar.
All right, top five moments from the
Oh,
Showa
this
era.
was hard.
This was hard to narrow down, so I just kind of just went with gut impulse and got some
Yeah,
things here. But I can go first this time around. We'll go
go
back and
ahead.
forth again. The first one I have is I'll just go with the Godzilla discovering Mechagodzilla, basically like seeing the kind of
Yeah.
he blasts Mechagodzilla because he's fighting himself. At first, he's just like fighting himself. He's like, I guess that's what I'm doing now. I got to fight one of my own. And then he blasts him, and he sees like a little shiny piece. And just the acting from Godzilla just
Yeah.
kills me. Where he like has a the fuck, like,
Yeah,
kinda,
the
like
head
look at his
tilt,
face,
the head
the
tilt,
head
yeah.
tilt, and then he blasts them again, and it blasts all his like fake skin off, and it's like, oh, it's a Mecha Godzilla. I gotta fight this now. But it's just such a we've talked about Godzilla a lot as far as how much personality he kind of gets over the years, and this
Yes.
is an instance where it's like he's so full of character to have a head tilt, and like you can understand what he's going through at that moment.
hmm
So that's a very fun bit for me when he discovers that there's a Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, I wrote this is sort of Jet Jaguar
Uh-huh.
fighting was my cheat to try and get just like Jet Jaguar being like, I don't want to be small anymore. I want to be Godzilla size.
So just Jet Jaguar self-actualizing.
Yes, the
That's your
self-actualizing.
answer.
I was like, okay. And I just went right along with it. I said, I believe it.
All right.
I said, I believe it.
Um, let's see. What's next? I'll go with the Kylax having their plan ruined by Godzilla. I will say in our next episode, which is going to be our Comic-Con episode, I described this in full, complete with like the clip and everything. So I don't
Hmm.
want to go too far into it because I'm just going to say the same thing again 1 week later, 2 weeks later. But I'll just say by the end of Destroy All Monsters, the Kylax are like, all right, fine. You got rid of our Ghidorah. You got rid of that other thing we shot at you. But that's not all. We still have, and then like Godzilla comes in and like wrecks their base. He's like, wait a minute, oh no! And then they're like, whole planet is they're like done for. The Kylax get destroyed. It's great. It's a bit where Godzilla like asserts his authority as being like, yeah, we all work together to kill the Ghidorah, but I'm still Godzilla here. I'm still king of the monsters. I'm still taking
Yeah,
down the main bad guys by the end of this thing as well. So yeah, that's a really really fun moment that I have.
I think one of my top moments, because we watched this out of order,
Mm,
I will say the we saw Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I think third,
yes,
right?
yeah,
The alien reveal
uh-huh.
got me together. It got me together. So it's like aliens. Aliens. And then you were like, this won't be the only time we see them. And then for like 10 straight movies, the villains were some sort of, they were either aliens that were here on Earth or they were aliens that had come from space. It just was like, it was like aliens everywhere. So yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, I'll go for a sad. I'll go sad, fun, sad for these last two. I like for all the crap that we can give the Son of Godzilla. Although you did bring up the fight between with the what is
Kamakuras.
Kamakuras and Kamunga. Um, I really do like that final image of Godzilla and Minya just in the snow with them like kind of hibernating together. I think that's a really
Hmm.
evocative piece of imagery that works for the movie. Even if it doesn't like 100% earn something as like emotionally effective as I think that kind of shot is, I do think it really sticks with me as far as the ways in which we can kind of move on from different Godzilla movies, especially as he's become more of a anti-hero slash protector of the earth kind of thing at that point where he's literally a father. Like it's
Yeah.
seeing him kind of just like in this like apocalyptic hibernation state. That's something that continues to register when I kind of think about those movies.
Yeah, I think I'll go funny and then serious for my last two.
Uh,
Um, King Kong being carried by those balloons, getting dropped, sliding down the hill and kicking Godzilla.
uh, okay.
It took me out, especially after, this movie has one of my favorite moments of the podcast so far is when I turned to you and I was like, "Who is this?" Because I still want to know who that was because that was not King Kong. That's somebody else. That's somebody else.
It's funny. I was just at the time of this recording, I just got back from New York City for the first time, and I saw King Kong. I was at the Empire State Building, and they have a whole King Kong thing going on there.
Hmm.
It's fun. He's like gets his hands in the building, and he's crawling around and everything. It's great. They love King Kong at the Empire State Building.
Yes, they do. They
They
should.
really, they really do. There's a lot of
One
King
of the
Kong
reasons
there.
why it's one of the most famous buildings in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of New York, we mentioned my love for King Ghidorah. Did I found there was because the algorithms know what I like. There's a designer jean store that released Godzilla special edition jeans of different kinds,
Hmm.
and I got myself some King Ghidorahs that it's like denim with Ghidorah colored stitching on it and like a Ghidorah label. It's gonna be pretty sweet when I start wearing those around.
This is a level of fan I haven't ascended to yet.
I you know.
I don't know if I'll ever be there, but
It
yes.
hit me at the right time when I was like, "Well, I'm gonna be here. Might as well check
Yes,
these
that's
out." And I tried them on. I'm like, "These are pretty baller."
I have
So,
bought Godzilla merch. I did buy the hat and the jacket, but I wear the jacket all the time.
you do
So
wear the jacket a lot. I wear the jacket a lot now too. I like the
yeah.
jacket.
All right.
Um,
Serious moment to wrap us up.
no, I have my
Oh, you have
serious. I said serious, funny, serious. So the funny
okay.
one is Godzilla ripping out Hedorah's eyes. Uh,
Yeah.
Hedorah, sorry, Godzilla like really digging in and being like, all right, this sludge monster's got to go. And it's just like diving his hands inside of it. It's like, what's going on in here? And he pulls out one ball and he gives it, he's like, all right. And he's like, let me get back in there. And he gets out another one.
Yeah.
And then he like burns them both with his breath, throws and then continues to rip it apart to make sure. Just the whole destruction of Hedorah, I think, is really it's almost like ritualistic as far as what Godzilla's doing to like make sure this thing stays defeated. But yeah, specifically when he rips out two like white orbs, and the movie's not like,
Hmm.
we know it's eyes because we found that out after the fact. This movie's just like, just go along with it. Like,
Yeah.
just take this for what it is. Good stuff.
I think one that I'm still incredulous about
Uh-huh.
is Godzilla fixing his lips to say that the humans bullied him in that conversation with Mothra and Rodan. I just could not believe that. I still can't. I'm still in disbelief that he would have the nerve, trillions of dollars worth of damage across the movies at that point, and he was like, "They've been bullying me." It's truly one of the most ridiculous things to ever be put on film.
Everybody has a point of view.
Yeah.
My last moment is Godzilla's death in
Uh-huh.
54. Another
And
thing
mine
that
would be Godzilla first attacking Tokyo in 54. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we have the somber moments from the first movie,
Yes.
which I do believe we talk about quite a bit in our upcoming Comic Con episode as well. So you can hear more about that in
Hmm.
a couple weeks. But I do think obviously the first film is very effective for a lot of reasons, and I think those are key moments, both yours and mine, that kind of
Yeah.
exemplify what really works about that movie and makes it stand out as being more than what the rest of these are.
Hmm.
All right. Um, that brings us to the listener feedback section here. We put out the
Feedback,
call.
feedback, Oh, that's the wrong podcast.
We put out the call for any listener to chime in with any thoughts they might have had, any questions they might have had concerning the Showa era and everything we've talked about in this podcast so far. So I'm just going to go through these here. First one is it looks like a question/comment from Adrian Settle. Adrian writes, a few months ago when y'all first started, I mentioned that seeing the American version of Varan was tragic. Are y'all open to going back to find the Japanese version of the film and reviewing that? I only ask because coming from a fellow black guy who talks Godzilla, also the American and Japanese version of Varan are two completely different films, and would love to know if your opinion changes after that viewing. Thank you for everything y'all do. I know how much time and effort comes from the projects like this. Have a good day. Thank you, Adrian.
I
Um,
believe that I saw the Japanese version and you watched the American one
Yeah,
of
that's the
Ran.
thing. The two of us
We covered both of them, yeah.
inadvertently watched both versions.
And it's still
Just
bad.
we didn't both watch both versions together. Um,
I'm sorry to the Varanites. I truly am. I
yeah,
truly am.
I don't feel like there's a better version of this movie because
Mm-mm.
whether it's in its original form or not. Like, as we did give it to the concessions that it was a TV film, it was meant to be a TV film that was then expanded into a cinematic feature. It looks bad because of that, and looks thin because of that. Like, it has,
Yeah.
you know, it's not good, but it does like
I could
I
see it playing better on TV with like commercial breaks. I could see it playing
sure,
better that way.
yeah, but as it stands, like the movie is the movie is the movie is the movie, and that's just we're just not a
Yeah,
fan.
Varanites. It's bad. It's bad. It did make me laugh the most. That moment of him jumping out of the water and flying.
And speaking of I helped, Varan is in Destroy All Monsters, so I mean,
That's true.
they
He was
didn't
there. He was there
they
too.
didn't forget about him.
He was there. I was glad to see him in Destroy All Monsters, I will say.
Our next question comes from John Eugenio. He asks, favorite reveal in the Showa era?
Ooh,
Favorite reveal in the
that's a
Showa
great
era?
question. That's a really great question.
I don't want to say favorite. I was going to say something just offhanded so we can keep this conversation going. But like I do, it's recency. But having just watched Terror of Mechagodzilla again, there's that whole bit where like there's little boys that are running away from Titanosaurus, and they're like, "What do we do? What do we do?" And Titanosaurus is like about to destroy them, and then the camera like whip pans around, and there's Godzilla there to save the boys. Where he's
Yeah,
so like you have to think of it in terms of the context of this series. You start with Ashiro Honda presenting Godzilla as you know, a nuclear bomb that's walking, right?
yeah,
It's just this horrible thing that's terrifying everybody. And now, 15 movies later, the same director is back making his final Godzilla film, and now you have him being the heroic savior of children,
Yeah.
approaching, this giant other monster now that's there just for whatever reason. Like it's such a giant 180 as far as the intention of the character to begin with, and here you have this reveal of him being like, Godzilla's here to save us now. Like that's
Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite reveal is that little piece falling off of Mecha
uh-huh.
and me being in the theater about at my wit's end with how this Godzilla sounded. I was like, this
Yeah, I
cannot be
remember
how
just saying
Godzilla
it.
is
You
going
did
to
like this
sound
out, yeah.
the entire movie. I might not make it. I might not make it. And then it was revealed that it was Godzilla. I said, "Oh wow, okay, that was really smart." And that was really great.
I do like the kind of casual reveal in Raids Again, where like
Yeah,
Godzilla and Gears are just kind of like already fighting, and these guys just kind of happen to stumble across it out of nowhere. That's a really fun reveal as
yeah.
well. Um, yeah, all right. If we think of any more, go over it. Next question we have is from Jordan, aka Captain Kaiju. He asks favorite and least favorite Showa characters, be they humans or monsters. Okay, well, least favorite is obviously Minya.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I hate to do it to the child, but yeah.
Not everybody's baby's cute. Um, no matter
He
how much
just
you're
doesn't
required to say it.
I just need something. Something. Something.
I'm really, we have a whole other era coming up that might
Jesus.
give you something.
Let me just pray. I'm trying to think of least favorite.
Least favorite.
The humans in some of these movies are very silly, but I'm trying to think about which.
Which
I'm
would
trying to think
sit
if it
as
was
like
Adira or Son of Godzilla where they made me the most angry. Um, it was Adira, I think, because this
yeah.
was where they were going into the lab and they were touching everything and they were being really obvious about their menstruations. Yeah,
Yes.
the humans in Adira.
Ibira humans are pretty not fun. Um, yeah, right.
I mean, we talked about a lot of our favorites already. So,
Yeah, exactly. So,
but Anguirus,
yeah.
Anguirus, yeah.
Jet Jaguar seems to ride the line between the human and kaiju in this capacity. So I guess it's this bionic man thing. Or what's it? The like the criminals in All Monsters Attack. Not exactly my favorite either.
Yeah.
The wet bandits. But all right. Jeff Ewing, fellow film critic, he asks, "Do you wish Godzilla just fought large crustaceans? Also, would it be better if Kong always had a weird electrical powers because reasons?"
God.
Let's answer that second question first. Absolutely, give Kong all the electrical powers you want.
No. 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 I like Kong
As you might
using
recall,
the intelligence of a monkey and the acrobatics of the monkey to
as
win
you
the
might
battle.
as you might recall, the only reason he has electrical powers is because the whole plan was to get Frankenstein in.
Which is still
Japan was
wild to me that they were like, we love Frankenstein so
Japan.
much we want to put him in a battle movie with Godzilla.
We need Frankenstein is the answer to our questions. What monster we need next? Frankenstein. Isn't Frankenstein like just like kind of lumbering and like kind of tall? No, he's kaiju size now. He's giant Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't use Frankenstein anymore, but we still have this whole electrical business. Can Kong just like use electricity? Absolutely. That was
That's
his
wild.
solution.
And wasn't that RKO Pictures owned uh was it RKO Pictures that owned King Kong at that point in time? Whoever owned King Kong, that's such a wild
Yeah.
thing. That's wild to license your character to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a no on the electrical powers. I
Yeah,
like to see
I'm just
Kong.
kidding. I just find it very
Yeah.
amusing that the leftovers of
And in
Frankenstein are
terms
like,
of
let's just give them to Frank. Yeah, okay, so
Godzilla fighting more crustaceans, if the crustacean can come out of the water or Godzilla goes into the water, I'm here for it. But I can't watch another tennis match.
I'd like to see Godzilla fight less lobster-like creations and more crab-like creations. I feel like if Godzilla,
Well, what if he fought the like the kaiju that was in Aquaman.
Yeah, that thing, the voiced by Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it was by Julie Andrews. Yes, when she
That-
was basically just hurling racist slurs at Aquaman. Yes.
the Karathan. Yeah, I'd be all for Godzilla fighting one of those, or just like multiple crabs, and they all know how to flank them because they do their crab walk thing. So they're like,
Yeah.
like I'd be into that. But yeah, I mean, Godzilla being aquatic, I'd love to see more aquatic battles or aquatic related battles. You know, there's plenty of
Yeah.
under the sea time that could be utilized. Let's see. Our last question we have is from Cinematic Second Chances. They ask, "Am I the crazy one who loved Titanosaurus's roar?" The answer is no. I adore Titanosaurus's roar. It being like, like that's just fun to hear.
Let's hear it again.
It's so wacky. Like again, I love the fact that a lot of these kaiju can be distinguished by their sounds. Like Ghidorah has
Yes,
a very
that's one of my.
simple sound. Rodan has a simple sound. Like
I think that the music. I know I mentioned at the beginning that the human plots really make these movies. I think what makes these movies distinct is the music and the sound design of the
yeah,
creatures. I think some of the movies that are bad because the music and sound is terrible.
yeah. But like, there's not a lot of movies, like franchise movies, that could be like dictated by sound design. Like Star
Mhm.
Wars like pretty much the only one offhand that has
Yeah.
like so many different sounds that are very specific to Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely have the themes, like the music cues, certainly, but yeah, not necessarily.
But specifically sound
Yeah,
effects that are specific to that movie. Like I know certain of the franchises have like maybe one or two. I'm
yeah,
sure
because
like
I think we mentioned Marvel a couple times on this. I think the only sound design that I can think of is the shield hit the hammer hitting the gong of either Bucky's hand or Thor's hammer hitting the shield.
and I'm sure things that I'm less into but I'm aware of, obviously, like things like Star Trek or Doctor Who very much probably have their own
Yeah,
sound design things for certain sci-fi stuff that happens in those things.
at the Energize. Yeah,
But Godzilla, I think, is ranks right up there as far as the monsters literally have their own sounds that kind of distinguish them from each other that you can very much tell who's who. That's not nothing though.
yep,
All right. Well, thank you all for the feedback there, the questions
yes,
that we got.
thanks.
I look forward. Please feel free to send in any time that we do these episodes. It's always fun to have feedback.
Yeah, send all of the questions to Aaron so that he will collect them and he will read them to me and I will answer.
Yeah, we have plenty of socials, and so I'll collect them as much as I see them.
Yes.
So, all right. The last thing we got to do. So we've wrapped up the Showa era, and now obviously we're going to enter into the Heisei era. And I want to know what you expect to see coming out of this current era, given what you already know. I will note, as far as future plans go for this podcast, next episode is going to be our Comic-Con episode, which is that's going to be a fun bonus. You can hear how that went. Spoilers, it went pretty well. Um, but and then after that, we have a fun, a bit of a side project that we're kind of doing that's in relation to all of this, where
Yes.
we're going to talk a little Gamera. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are wondering if we are ever going to talk about Gamera, the other notable kaiju franchise in Japan, running somewhat simultaneously with Godzilla. And we have a very specific plan of attack for how to handle Gamera. And just know that we'll be talking the very first Gamera film in December. So just we can note that now for anyone that was curious as far as how that goes.
hmm
But putting that aside for the time being, let's talk about the Heisei era. Terrence, what do you expect to see in this upcoming era of Godzilla films, this
I
80s and
think
90s era?
I think I'm intrigued about the idea of taking like a significant amount of time off
Hmm.
and seeing what like I you've made 15 Godzilla movies. You made a bunch of other monster movies and you now taken time off and now you're coming back to launch new films starring your big star. What were the things from the beginning that they thought were successful? What are the things that they didn't think were successful? And like, what are they going to change going into the next era? I do know that they're interconnected. So it's like, what storytelling avenues did that give you in a way that like a new solo entry just starring, obviously you can bring monsters back and there is some tangential stuff there, but it's not like this wasn't like an interconnected series that built up to destroy all monsters versus them just being like, okay, this is the end. We want to do destroy all monsters. Let's bring everybody together. So I'm just interested about what they learned about franchise storytelling, with this creature, especially in like the 80s and 90s as Hollywood begins to really figure out how to do franchises.
Mhm.
Like obviously we've had things, you had Tarzan, you had like John Carter from Mars, right? You've had the serials, and then you get Star Wars.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes is like the first one that's like, okay, like we can do this thing, and then like Star Wars and Indiana Jones come, and it's like it just takes off
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, we actually know how to do sequels. And so I'm intrigued to see how Godzilla, the Heisei era sits alongside that as well.
Yeah, obviously, knowing these films already and what we're going to get into, it could be. I don't necessarily need to be more specific. I will say it'll be interesting to watch films that are from a period that I grew up in, where I'm a '90s kid, versus watching,
Hmm.
the '60s, '70s films that obviously come from their era. Seeing films that are kind of coming alongside the films I grew up with, whether it's Jurassic Park or Terminator or any number of Jerry Bruckheimer action movies,
Yep.
seeing that coincide with what Japan's version of kaiju films look like at this point in time. That'll be interesting to watch, especially now what we're doing with more critical eye, or at least one that's more focused on delving into what's going on within these films. Um, Again, my awareness aside, I like the idea of building a continuity between these movies because that can offer some interesting opportunities to go with. Obviously, we're going to see some fan favorite characters as far as the kaiju's are concerned, as well as some new ones. There's a couple that I'm very, very excited about as far as you discovering what they are, as well as just getting to watch them again because they're fun. And who knows? There might be some significant plot twists that take place in some of these movies,
Yeah.
and you got aliens in '70s and
Yeah, I
'80s
can't wait
and
to
'60s.
see
Maybe
what
there'll
the
be
crazy stuff
other
they think of now.
sci-fi things to have to occur that we'll delve into as we go on in the High Sierra. Um, so yeah, I am very much excited for you to see these films, and Terrence and I have already carefully talked about the kind of the schedule we have in store. It's not going to be as long as the Showa Era season that we're currently wrapping up, but we certainly found a way to kind of expand it a little bit, so it's not just going to be 6, 7 films when we're out. We got a few more things to kind of consider as well.
Hmm.
So stay tuned for all of that as far as planning concerned for season 2 um, of Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla, which, by the way, January I believe is our intended date.
January 9th will
Yeah,
be when we officially start the High Sierra.
yeah. So there'll certainly be content coming between now and then. Obviously, again, the Comic Con episode and some Gamera talk. But yeah, if we'll officially be starting the second season of the show in the new year in
Yeah,
2026.
should be fun.
Any other thoughts on any of this that we're talking about?
No, I'm just intrigued that I've made it. I've made it here.
Well, when you're here, your family. No, it's been a fun ride that I look
The
forward
we
to.
have been called the Olive Garden of podcast.
Yeah, agreeable. A lot of it.
Yes.
End of list. No, no. This has been a fun ride that I'm very happy isn't just about to end. Though it is like really fun that we've reached the end of a first season of doing
Yeah,
this
I
show.
it's really crazy. It's spanned nearly a year.
And think of all we've accomplished. Like we were able to do this show live at Comic Con. We were able
Yep.
to talk about all of these movies. We were able to gain a fan base of sorts.
We
We
won an
won an
award.
award for doing the show. We've set
Yeah,
the
it's pretty
bar pretty
cool.
far high for whatever we can expect to come from our second season of doing this show. But I do think we both thank you guys, the listeners, very much for going on this journey with us. Whether you're following along literally by watching the movies in time for these episodes, or just following along because you enjoy hearing us specifically talk about these movies. There's a lot. There's a few things out there on the internet to listen to. So the fact that we're
Yeah,
among those options for you is very worthwhile for us, and I hope we're making it worthwhile for you as far as the time being spent on those things.
that we do.
But yeah, we just wrap up. I guess as mentioned, I'm the editor-in-chief of Weekly Entertainment. All my movie reviews can be found there. I'm also the co-host of a podcast out now with Aaron and Abe. My friend Abe and I talk about the weekly movie releases with other film critics on a weekly basis. And I'm on all the socials at Aaron's PS4.
My writing is at lenoirauteur.net, LENOIRAUTEUR.net. You can find me on Twitter at Terrence B. Johnson.
Very good. As stated multiple times at this point, next week, 2 weeks from now, we will be publishing our live from LA Comic-Con episode. We had a packed house, and we talked a lot of things, Godzilla related, of course, and had a lot of fun with that. I have not edited that audio yet, so I'm excited to revisit that period of time and see how that sounds.
It's in the future, but we're taking everybody back in time.
Exactly. Hopefully it sounds great. I think it sounds. I did some sampling of it, so I know it's like I know.
I think it'll be
it
fun.
can be heard. I know
Yes.
they have that going for us, but that should be fun to look at. But yeah, that's going to do it for this Showa Era wrap-up episode. So this has been
Two black guys talk Godzilla.
Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla is an independent podcast. This show is produced, edited, and distributed by Aaron Neuwirth and Terence Johnson. The music is sampled from Feral Munch. Please rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. Feel free to email us at blackguystalkgodzilla@gmail.com and follow us on all the socials at BLK Godzilla Talk on Twitter and Blue Sky, and at Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla on Facebook and Instagram. And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so wherever you download your podcast so you can keep listening to Two Black Guys Talk Godzilla.